question after the break. Quick break. So, if down here you're saying, if I move final string outside, right? That's what you're saying. No?
Well, I mean, that's final string is part of the function.
It's part of the function string maker.
So,
but here it's part of the function getGreeter. It's the same thing, no?
Okay.
Am I right?
Sure. I mean, I guess I was just looking at it differently because that name is like
All right. I'll do you a solid. Oh shit. Right?
Yeah.
This is the same thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, what happens? Yes. Right? Because if you think about it, like here, I'll just go back to the slide. This is like a little cleaner, right? So here, so when that function was defined, the inner function that's being returned, right? It's accessing something called name. That function doesn't have name inside of itself. So it looks to the outer function. And the outer function, let's say if this was here, the outer function doesn't have name either. So then it looks up to the global scope. And if name wasn't there, then it would be hi undefined. But instead, it's hi Marie. Any other questions? Any questions? Okay. What if getGreeter takes a parameter? Oh shit. Yeah. So, if getGreeter takes a parameter, and we try to access that name inside the function it's returning, we have to pass Rosalind here. And we get hi Rosalind. What if we didn't? What if we passed Rosalind here? Think about it. Let's go through the steps. If ignore this. We're saying let getGreeter equal let greeter equal getGreeter invoked with nothing, okay? With nothing. Not Rosalind's here on the screen, but imagine there's nothing. So then getGreeter is invoked. What is name? Name will be undefined, right? If this is undefined, and you return this function, the function's defined here, name is going to be referencing that undefined value. And if you pass in Rosalind here, this function doesn't care about that. This function wasn't written to take in arguments. There is no parameter, okay? So if you pass in Rosalind to here, it's still going to say hi name. What was name? Name was undefined because we didn't pass anything in here.
Like you said, return function name.
If there was a name in here,
Yeah.
then you would pass Rosalind in here, and that's what you would get. Any questions on this? This makes sense, right? In time, when this function was called, this function accesses all of the variables that were defined there. And if this function was called with a parameter name, name is being defined when you pass an argument into it, okay? Otherwise, it is undefined. Yeah.
Put name inside the return function name.
Like here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then everything else is the same. Even what greater arguments, it's still return high for this one.
No, it would return high undefined. If you left everything the same, and you put a name here, what is JavaScript going to do when it sees this?
I would think that it would look for the name function.
It would look for the name in its own scope first. Name exists. It is a parameter. We're not giving it a value, but it does exist, right? It's not like not found, you know? It's there. Its value is undefined because we don't pass anything into greeter here.
But don't we say, well, if greater equals
Yes, we do. However, since we look at its own scope first, we find the variable. We don't look for a variable with value. We look for a variable, any variable, that matches the thing that we're trying to call, right? Not call, but like we're trying to see what it is. And we find name, oh, boom, it's undefined. Does that make sense? It won't. JavaScript won't like do you a solid and like look for things with values, right? It's not even. It doesn't care. It found name. It's undefined. We didn't give it a value. That's what it is. You know. It's very simple. This is all ones and zeros. If you think about it. So what if both functions take parameters? Get greeter, name 1, return function, name 2. Console.log hi plus name 1 plus meet, just meet, and then plus name 2. Let greeter equal get greeter, you pass in Mary, and then you call greeter and you pass in Rosalind. So Rosalind, if you're throwing it into greeter, will be name 2. Console.log hi name 1, what is name 1? It's not defined in this function, so we look to the outer function and we see it's this parameter, name 1. And then when getGreeter was ran originally, it was Mary. So that's why we see, hi Mary, meet Rosalind. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Right, similar to the last question. It was name 2,
Name 2, comma name 1.
it would, yeah,
This would be undefined.
it would return.
Yeah. Say that again? Because if this was name 2, comma name 1, that means this function is referencing two variables, right? It expects two arguments, right? And do you agree that greeter is this function? So that means when we call greeter with one variable, one argument, this isn't a variable, this is an argument, sorry. When you call greeter with one argument, name 2 will be assigned to Rosalind, but that name 1 will remain undefined. So then when we try to access name 1, it sees that there is a parameter, name 1. There is a variable, name 1. Its value is just undefined. So that's why this will be undefined in that situation. Think of this. You know how you guys do double for loops to go through grids? Right? What if you did let I in the outer one, and in the inner one you did let I, and in the bottom one you did grid I at I? The outer I would never be accessed. It would just be looking at that inner loop. This is the same thing. Right? Yeah.
On line 8, when you say let greeter, what does greeter equal at that particular point?
Before we call greeter,
Yeah.
like here, greeter is going to be equal to this function.
Function with Marie passed in as name 1.
It's not pet. Don't even think about that. It's just equal to this function. The fact that this is passed into here only matters when we invoke it. You know?
So that when Marie is kind of just
This.
held in memory until it's invoked.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Cool. This is just a more wordy example. So here we have get greeter, and it does the same thing as I just showed. It was the same function as before. But now I'm going to say let introduce Mary to equal get greeter Mary. Let introduce Rosalind to get greeter Rosalind. Then I say introduce Mary to Dorothy, introduce Mary to Albert. Introduce Rosalind to Barbara, introduce Rosalind to Isaac. You get hi Mary, meet Dorothy, hi Mary, meet Albert, hi Rosalind, meet Barbara, whatever. This example has nothing really different in it, but it shows you how I'm literally writing on my keyboard, introduce Mary to Dorothy. Hi Mary, meet Dorothy. Right? If you can make your code sound like a person, you're doing a good job with naming things. Okay? Naming things. Right? Nothing new here, though. Okay? Right? Is anyone confused by this? Okay. So, a recap. We talked about returning functions and functions, and we talked about closure. Any final questions before you all take a break, and then jump into the workshop? Yeah. The last page? Huh? This? This? Is there a way to shorten that? Shorten it half. Like, nonsense, right? Nah. I mean, nah. I mean, you don't have to call it introduce Mary too. Introduce Rosalind too. I don't know. You can't shorten the functionality. Every step here is necessary to get that result in the console. That's what you want to see in the console. This is like a nonsense thing. This is like a nonsense console. This is just showing you how this function has access to main one. Everyone okay? Alright. I'll sign up there in like 5 minutes. We'll take a break. Sorry, my computer died.